So grateful that you're here. So grateful for this time together to connect to all that's happening and make the most of it. We are today focusing on the manifestation of the miraculous. And so for those of you who may have had trouble either recently or in the past actually manifesting in this realm, what you're choosing, this is going to address some of the reasons why, and also support us in really moving into fully on a conscious and an unconscious level the systems of manifestation that function from the new earth energies, which are different than what the old paradigm manifestation energies and systems are. And so if we're still attempting to function from any type of separation-based version of manifestation or any type of control-based version of manifestation, we're going to find that it's hit or miss. And so that's one aspect. The other aspect is that in order to manifest in this realm, it's important that we make friends with this realm, so to speak, and that we're not in resistance to being here. Because if we're in any way in resistance to being here, we're not going to be manifesting what we're desiring to manifest here. We may be manifesting it in the higher realms, but it's not actually coming into our experience in the physical realm. And so we're going to touch on a few of these different things. And I'm so grateful and honored to support you in this way. I'm so grateful and honored that you've chosen to give yourself this gift. And as we move through this next 60 minutes or so together, know that the energy gains momentum and that the shifts that occur for you are really only through your conscious choice, that nothing's happening to you. It's all you as an empowered being choosing to welcome the new for you. So no one else can do that for you but you. So connect to, if you're willing, your higher self, your heart, your sense of presence, and invite the guidance and support of your guides, the masters and angels working with you, the council of light working with you, in a way that you welcome what is most honoring for you, because each of us are unique. Each of us are in a unique step in our journey with a unique history. Many of us have been chipping away at various lifetimes of separation-based constructs in order to upgrade our consciousness on a conscious and unconscious level into the oneness-based systems. And as I mentioned, today we're going to focus on how that relates to manifestation, because there are certain electromagnetic components of our multidimensional self that wire us into this realm that simply are being asked to upgrade to function from the new earth energies, the new earth ways of being. So everyone, if you're willing, just take a deep breath and allow yourself to center in your column of light. And you can imagine that if we use the metaphor of the sun, that you're a ray of light emanating from the sun, from source. As we connect to the remembering that we're already fully connected to infinite source. So that part, that piece of choosing what we wish to choose and having what we wish to have is actually already completed. We're already connected to an infinite source and to infinite resources. So allow yourself to receive that remembering from your higher self, from your council of light, in a vibrational way, which may or may not be conscious. You can just ask. You can say, yes, I'm willing to receive. And when we do these sessions, it's truly an energetic tune-up, where as you're choosing to cross the bridges with us into more honoring ways of being, more really truth-based systems for you to function in and as, it will reflect in your world, because that's how the metaphysics works. We could say that it's a way of manifesting, but it's a way of manifesting your true self. It's a way of you choosing to align with what's actually true in order to have the experience. We'd like to also take this moment just to mention that if any of you are having issues with the video not streaming without hiccups, know that you're still receiving. Know that the replay of this will have the full audio. You can go back and re-listen. So don't allow that to kind of disconnect you from receiving. Know that as you're choosing it, you can simply put your higher self in charge as we support you in that remembering of your connection to the infinite wisdom of you, the part of you that has the bird's eye view, the part of you that knows exactly what will support you in the best and highest way. And just invite it to be your gatekeeper, with regard to what you receive and don't receive, and what maybe you receive, but it's in a time release way so that you can acclimate with grace and ease. So there's a lot that wants to come through, but I do want to mention this is a very extremely accelerated month. And many of you have already connected to that. Many of you have already sent me messages and notes, and even on live calls have mentioned experiences of timeline jumping, timelines collapsing. Things that were there yesterday aren't there today, and it's like doctor's diagnosis. Things like that are really just, okay, it was there yesterday and today it's not. That's a piece of what I mean by we're in an accelerated time. We've actually reached a momentum in the ascension as a collective and as individuals where we can actually leap into more honoring timelines like that. And that's what many of you have been experiencing, whether you're conscious of it or not. And that's one of the reasons for this transmission today, is to really support us in claiming that most honoring experience of our life. The optimal frequency, if you will, but it's really an energetic elixir of frequency that is your being, that is a representation of the frequencies you're choosing to agree and align with on a conscious and an unconscious level. So when we do this work together, these sessions together, we're actually addressing not only the conscious mind and your conscious choice, and you're choosing from a conscious place, but as you're choosing it, it's being aligned with on an unconscious level as well. In any of the fears or hesitations, or we could call them blocks, but they're not really blocks, they're just choices that we made in the past to not agree and not align with truth, those are being transmuted. So we're healing or remembering, which is the same thing, what's actually true, and the unconscious mind goes with us, which is the piece that a lot of us maybe in the past haven't been fully aware of, that our unconscious mind can actually reflect as much as our conscious mind, conscious choices are reflecting. And that's why we can get a hit or miss experience with what we're actually choosing on a conscious level to manifest in our lives. So when we point to manifesting the miraculous, what we're really speaking to is that you, as an infinite being of light, a stream of pure, perfect love and light energy emanating from source itself, have access to all the miraculous things you've been wishing for, you've been inviting on some level, you've been desiring on some level. And so can we support you in this moment to really move into an identification of you where you see yourself consciously and unconsciously as this beam of light, as this pure, perfect aspect of the divine that you truly be. And take a deep breath. And you can say yes if you're choosing it. And will you give yourself permission to have that much of you and to have access to that much of you? And can we show you who you are once you've said yes to that, once you've allowed yourself to really access the potency of you, the power of you, the allness of you, the wholeness of you, the truth of your being? Can we support the part of you that's afraid because it doesn't remember what that is? To look over the imaginary wall, to just peek, to just taste the energy of you in the wholeness of you, in your true nature of infinite potential, infinite oneness, divine essence. And will you allow your higher self and invite your higher self to amplify your divine frequency from the heart of source, reflecting it down through you here? So that if you have been identifying as something you're not for a while, or you've forgotten and you got off track, so to speak, there's no judgment in that, but now it's about, okay, I'm choosing to realign. So higher self, Council of Light, will you support me in amplifying my true frequency, my true note, my true resonance from the heart of the divine, reflecting it all the way down through the beam of light that I be, in all dimensions of me, in all layers, all levels, all aspects, with grace and ease, in a very gentle way. It's almost like a breeze, a light breeze. Just gentle, coming through. And even if you're not sensing or feeling or knowing yet, just give yourself permission to choose it and then allow. Because it's not your job to actually then amplify your light. It's your higher self's job. Can we show you the difference? So even though you are your higher self on some level, from this current vantage point, you are focused here in this dimension. And so it's helpful to work with our higher self as a partner, so to speak, knowing that there's an aspect of us in a higher realm that can actually pluck the strings of the note we were wishing to experience. And in this case, it's your pure divine essence of you, your note, which is the key to everything you've been asking for. Because when you're resonating at your note, abundance, love, joy, harmony, divine synchronicity, divine flow is a flavor of that, is a component of that, is what you get to experience yourself as in this realm. It begins to reflect in this realm as the peace of you, as the joy of you, as the harmony of you, bringing you into more and more opportunities and experiences of yourself as your true divine essence, as your resonance, which then gains momentum, which then just amplifies more and more and more and more and more. So can we remind you on a fundamental level that your purpose is to be this note, to be this resonance here in this realm? And we don't have to do that through the intellect. We don't have to figure out how to be the note. That's not our job. Our job is to invite it, give our higher self permission, right? I give you access to all of me. I'm willing to be the note that I am. Will you pluck the string of that, harmonize me to that frequency, reflect it down through me here in this realm, making it manifest here in this realm? And then we let the higher self and the angels and the guides support that, right? And actually do the work, where we just make ourselves available. And eventually, it will become our new default to be that note that we be, to be that resonance of love, light, truth that we be. And each of us has our unique flavor of that, our unique version of that. That is part of the wholeness, that is part of the oneness. It's a perfect design. And as we make ourselves available to be that note, that's really when we gain access to the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, where then we're oriented in who we are. And from that place, because we're coming from who we are, we actually have the access to the miraculous. But if we're trying to access the miraculous, or what we're choosing, the frequencies of love, abundance, joy, peace, self-love, they're saying, if we're trying to access from a place of not being in alignment with who we are, we're actually not fully aligned with being able to pluck those strings fully. We do, but then it's kind of a distorted frequency. It's not really the pure, perfect frequency that can reflect, boom, as a pure reflection of our divinity, as a pure reflection of our light, of our abundance that already is. So without needing to understand that fully with the intellect, you can go back and listen. Are you willing to receive the downloads around what that means so that you can begin to choose the alignment with you that's the most helpful for you? And are you willing to release all the other stories around what's possible for you? And anywhere you've bought into a limited version of your identity and what's actually available. And take a deep breath. Okay. So the next piece that wants to come through is you making friends with this realm. And so, first of all, this is the easiest way to do it, is to literally, everything that we experience it in a way that we've given certain meaning to it, and then it becomes that for us. In other words, we decide that this realm is heavy, dense, separation, not love, heavy, they're saying, not home, whatever it is, whatever you've projected onto this realm and decided about this realm, because you decided it, it's going to show up that way for you. And so I'm hearing, but it started showing up that way and then I decided it. That's how the mind will interpret it, because the mind interprets everything linearly. But what's always happening is the reflection of what has been chosen on some level, whether it be conscious or unconscious. So are you willing, simply willing, to release all the meaning you've given this realm in order to welcome a new experience with it? Because this realm actually wishes to show up in a much higher octave as the new earth. And that's really what this is all about, and what we're moving into with the next series that's going to be offered, is actually being in the experience of the new earth instead of being still separate from it, somewhere being in the future. So we're being invited to bring it in now. So are you willing to release and uncreate with your higher self? Invite your higher self to release and uncreate and gather up all the resistance to this realm, all of the judgment of this realm, all of the right, wrong, good, and bad of the physical realm of earth, whatever we labeled it, whatever we're pointing to, even humanity as part of that, whatever it is. Because when you're seeing it through that lens, as this is heavy, this is not fun, this is, I don't want to be here, you're going to perpetuate that experience that you don't have access to you here. And that's actually not true. You have full access to your infinite self here, and that's what we're bridging right now, is to be in the world but not of it, so to speak. Where the infinite you comes in such a powerful way that this doesn't have any power over you. It never did, but we experienced that it did. We experienced there was a withholding or a disconnect or a separation. And what we're really moving into is the new earth energies and frequencies, where we get to experience oneness with source as who we are, as our actual physical experience. So are you willing to release all of the judgment of the physical, even the body? And take some deep breaths. Allow your higher self to have access to all the stories, all the judgment, all the fear, all the guilt, all the I don't want to be here. It's too hard. And what we would say to you is what's hard is pretending to be something you're not. It doesn't have anything to do with this realm. It has everything to do with you aligning with you. Are you willing to claim your power back from where you projected onto this realm, onto physicality, power that it doesn't have? And this isn't about winning. This isn't about right or wrong. This is about you aligning with the truth of you. And can we support you in reinterpreting your relationship with this realm in such a way that you are in right relationship with it with regard to who you truly are? You're putting more significance on who you are in truth than how things are showing up here. So you're willing to release all your attachment from how things are showing up here, bring it back to you being attached to how you perceive yourself, and no longer allowing this to waver how you're perceiving yourself. I'm fully empowered. I'm fully connected to an infinite source. No matter what this is doing, I'm not going to try to control it anymore. I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm going to fully connect to my own beam of light and hone in on who I be so powerfully with all my energy, with all my focus, that it reflects in my experience of myself. And even release the attachment to what we think this realm even is, if you're willing. So as this occurs, what they're inviting is we continue to release attachment. What we're really releasing attachment to is how things have been showing up for us in this physical experience. And so there's a part of us that's afraid, well, if I release all my attachment to, then I'm out of control, then I don't get to choose. That's actually completely untrue. This is a reset that's being invited, where you are, as an infinite being, choosing to reset everything back to infinite potential, which is who you are. And then, in a moment, from that place, we're going to connect into the higher octaves in order to bring that online for you. How does that feel? Okay, so take a deep breath. Invite your future self to support you in choosing this fully in all levels of you, releasing all attachment to what does or doesn't show up in your world, and just be willing. Just be willing, they're saying. It's really just you choosing it and then standing back and witnessing or waiting and allowing your higher self to do the work, and the Council of Light supporting. They're going to help point some things out to your higher self, so your higher self goes, oh yeah, let's bring that nugget of power back. So everything's being reset in a way. It's like recalibrated, reset, returned to infinite potential. Just take some deep breaths. And are you willing to release any judgment of you, where you thought there was something broken in you, or there was something wrong with you because you weren't able to create or manifest what you were choosing? We're bringing in a whole new set of rules, so to speak, a whole new set of systems to function in the new earth energies. And take some deep breaths. So can we bring in some downloads to show you, while this kind of collection is still happening, to show you what's possible for you when you allow yourself to be a creator, manifester, from the point of view of who you truly be as the one who has access to infinite, where there's no trying to control or fix or overcome or prove anything. You know who you are, and this isn't ego. So we're going to show you the difference, because I feel like some of us are trying to do that from the mind, from the part of us that thinks we're separate. What we would invite you is to simply go into the heart and choose it to come in as a remembering. Invite the part of you that knows to step forward. And take a deep breath. And what if you being on purpose, you being plugged in to infinite source, you being of service, are all you being the note that you be? And that's also how you access your infinite potential, abundance, joy, love, everything you would wish to choose to experience yourself as. Will you let it be that easy? Will you release and leave at the door any of the constructs of separation-based systems of comparison, control, manipulation, the old version of power? It's like forcing, trying to force things or make things happen. Effort-based becoming. It's almost like trying to be somebody specific, or trying to be spiritual, or trying to be a manifester, successful. Are you willing to leave all of those systems at the door, the separation-based systems, where we think there's something we have to prove, or something outside of us we need to accomplish in order to be free, or in order to be loved, or in order to be worthy? And can we include that back into infinite potential? Invite your higher self to gather up all the unworthiness, all of the separation-based attempts to have. It's like trying to have energies, trying to get. Because it doesn't make sense that as your infinite self, there's nothing you have to get. It's already here. You already have access. Let me show you how to shift into I already have energetically. We bring those systems, those templates online that function from oneness in the knowing of who you be, in the knowing of who you are, releasing all the power we've given to circumstances, to any constructs or systems outside of ourself, anywhere we projected power onto money or made money the source of our freedom. Are you willing to release and uncreate that? Anywhere we projected power or fulfillment onto any external experience, are you willing to release and uncreate that and bring your reference points for fulfillment in your own divine column of light, tracing it all the way back to the heart of source, receiving your fulfillment directly from source in the knowing of who you are in your own light, bringing those codes online, those frequencies online within your divine column of light, where you get to be fulfilled no matter what's happening. We do the same thing for safety, where you get to feel safe no matter what's happening. So there's a part of the mind that's afraid. If I give up all control, if I don't have my energy going out here trying to make things happen, then I'm not going to get to choose, right? I'm just going to be focused here, plucking the strings with my higher self of fulfillment, of safety, of love, of freedom. And this is just going to go haywire. That's not what's going to happen, because this is a reflection. This is the reflection of what you're choosing to align and agree with within yourself. Will you let it be that? Will you align with the truth of that? In a very powerful way, in a very masterful way, we invite your higher self to access and activate for you the mastery of that lesson, so that we're no longer functioning from systems of control and external giving our power away. Because if you're not holding your power within your own divine column of light, you experience yourself as not empowered. You start giving it away, and then you wonder why you feel at the mercy of or experience that something outside of you has power over you. So can we invite your higher self to retrieve all that power that on some level you've given away in this lifetime or past, in all dimensions, all aspects of you, and to claim that power back, to bring it back to you at the level of your higher self in a place and space where you can receive it with grace and ease, recalibrating it for you and reweaving it into your divine column of light so that you have access to your fully empowered self, all your power nuggets, all of your light. And this is the oneness-based system where we trace ourselves back as this beam of light to source itself. And we let ourselves be in the knowing that that's who we are. And we use all of our focus on being that beam of light and staying in that beam of light and not putting our energy outside of ourselves and making things outside of us responsible for us or responsible for our happiness or joy or freedom. So are you willing to claim all of that back to you now, where you're responsible in conjunction with your higher self for plucking those strings within your own divine essence so that it can reflect in your world, and no one and nothing outside of you has the power to take that away from you or to distort that experience of yourself. You're choosing how to experience yourself. No one else can choose that for you. So are you willing to receive that? Okay. Excellent. Keep receiving. So there's a piece that wishes to occur now where we see ourselves. It's not even a question of us in this realm. It's just us. So feel yourself there. Choose to be there. It's never been about this realm. It's manifesting has never been about anything outside of you. Are you willing to fully stand in that? It's not about anything. It's not about money. It's not about circumstances. It's not about lineage. It's not about anything that you may wish to perceive as something you didn't have control or choice. Are you willing to claim any remaining power nuggets back to you so that you can be fully in the power and potency of you with access to all of your light, where we're completely in a different relationship now? It's really not about us and them or us and this realm or us and wealth and happiness and money. It's not separation, you see? It's just you. It's just you as an infinite being with access to every single string on the harp of you, the instrument of you, and your higher self living in the heart of source can pluck those strings for you based on your conscious choice. Because we're choosing from this pure alignment, from this pure, simple identification of who we be, it's no longer contingent upon any external forces or choices. It's just me and me. Let's bring it there fully, releasing any remaining unhealthy cords that we've created to, it's my mom's fault, it's my dad's fault, it's releasing all the blame, releasing all the guilt, releasing all the fear of having you, just including that back into infinite potential. So the linear mind will have the story and the kind of reporting back, but this is what we experienced in the past. We experienced that these things had power, that our ability to survive or our ability to be joyful depended on these external things. And what we would say to that part of you is the reason you experienced it that way is because you were wired in to perceive it that way. What this session is for is to rewire your perception so that you're now perceiving yourself from the place of purity, of truth, of your light, with no other factors influencing what you're choosing, because they cannot influence unless you allow them to. Are you willing to live there? Are you willing to live in the new earth? Are you willing to manifest the miraculous as the being that you truly be? And take a deep breath. Just doing any remaining cleanup there. Anywhere we still had any pieces we've given away? Okay. So this other piece is anywhere we think that it's virtuous or to be of service to process anyone else's stuff. Are you willing to move into the perception of oneness, that you are a beam of light emanating from source, and so is every other aspect of life, that they have their own access to source directly? And are you willing to step out of the role of playing source for them? Because it's disempowering them and it's disempowering you. Take a deep breath. Just inviting the higher self, council of light, to clean all of that up. If you're willing to no longer allow that to be your definition of virtuous, your definition of being of service. Can we remind you and bring in the oneness-based version definition of service, which is you being your light? Very simple, it's very clean. You have full access to your light 24/7. No one can take that away from you. There's no external factors that play into you being of service or not being of service. And when you allow any discords to surface and be included back into infinite potential and align with who you truly be, that is being of service. And you're blessing all that is in a very powerful way when you do that. Because not only are you shifting your own experience of you, which is being of service to the divine itself, because you are an aspect of the divine, and you were meant to choose for you to bring yourself into that alignment as an aspect of the divine, to be who you truly be. That's being of service. And then there's a ripple effect where others witnessing that around you get to benefit from the frequency you're being, and it helps them find their own note. It helps them choose that for themselves. You don't become the source of that for them, but you become an example, a way shower. And that's really why you're here. So when you let it be easy, and when you give yourself permission to relax into the beam of light that you be as your way of being of service, and will you let go of any burdens you're carrying on behalf of your ancestors or any other beings from any lifetime, or you thought it was virtuous to try to process their stuff for them? Can we show you that that's fuel for their evolution? Just as your unconscious choices you're revisiting are fuel for your evolution. And will you see them as the empowered being of light that they be, and give that back to them at the level of their higher self, in a place, in a space where they can receive it with grace and ease, so you can breathe into the light you be and no longer distort your frequency. Bring all that light back to you that you were trying to give away. Just take a deep breath. And now they're bringing in with your conscious choice, the alignment to I am that I am. And this is a oneness-based alignment where, yes, we're aligning to our I am presence, but we're also choosing to see through the lens of all beings as equal, equally empowered, equally divine, equally free, equally loved, equally supported, including ourselves. And are you willing to release the responsibility that you've taken on for others to be that for them, and hold all of that responsibility on you being that for you? And so the mind has a tendency to want to hear that through the lens of separation. And what this really means is you accessing your infinite self, for your own freedom, for your own experience of yourself as free and as supported and as loved. And take a deep breath. Are you willing to allow your higher self to include back into infinite potential any remaining programs, beliefs, paradigms, systems that you're running that are incompatible with you being and manifesting in the new earth energies of oneness, of empowerment, of freedom, of joy, of knowing who you be? So just activating and plucking the string of trusting your higher self to do that job for you. You don't have to micromanage it. You can just be willing. I'm willing, I'm willing, I'm willing. Or not. It's up to you. And just feel into the freedom that is being called in through this. And take another deep breath. So now they're inviting, they'd like to support you and your higher self in doing some cleanup in your systems, it's kind of your environment, but it's more just what the past has been and what you've been experiencing life as. It's almost like resetting so that we're not projecting that into the future as what we're expecting life to appear as. So are you willing to allow this cleanup to take place where you release your attachment to the past in such a way that you're not expecting it to show up how it's always shown up for you? Can we show you how to invite a whole new experience of your life energetically? With joy, because you know it's a liberation, because you know it's going to show up much more honoring. It's like knowing it's an upgrade. And yes, this requires trust. So if that's something you're feeling like, I don't know, because I want to micromanage it, I want to know exactly what it's going to look like, invite your higher self to activate the frequency of trusting your higher self. And really trusting metaphysics, that it's going to show up as a reflection. If we choose a higher octave, everything's getting upgraded. It's law. All right, take a deep breath. Excellent. So will you give yourself permission, even if it doesn't make sense? So it's like releasing the need to understand it. Will you give yourself permission to be free? And release the how, release the what has to happen for that to be. You're being invited to simply choose it. I'm giving myself permission to be free. And I'm giving my higher self permission to pluck the string of freedom, of liberation, of divine flow and connection. And just take some deep breaths. They want you to imagine that this session today represents, because it does, a bridge from the old ways of being, the old earth experience, into the new earth experience, which is a much lighter, a much more liberating, a much more sovereign, empowered, they're saying liberated place. And if you knew that, if you knew that you were crossing that bridge right now, what would it feel like? Will you allow yourself to claim that that's what's happening for you, that you are very much crossing that bridge into the new earth experience because you're choosing it and because you have infinite choice, and that you've actually arrived? And they're inviting you to see your feet firmly planted on what we'll call the new side of the bridge. and to see your roots. We're going to invite the body to support this, to see your roots going down into ground, into this new earth. So as this is occurring, we'd like to invite you to shake the hand of the body and thank it for being your vehicle, for supporting you in being able to have this experience as a physical manifestation. And to thank it for getting you across that bridge too, because it helped support your journey in ways, beyond the conscious mind for most of us. But it's given us the opportunity to have this accelerated evolution. So just thank the body. We're going to support in repairing any discordant communication lines between you and the body spirit. Inviting it to update all of its grids to reference the new earth now is where we are, is where we're standing, as to where we're going to function from and as. And you're being invited to consciously choose to be clicked in with your physical body. And so the way that I'm shown that is you as a beam of light coming down through the physical body and literally clicking onto the front of the body's spine. And I get shown Legos, but however you're shown is perfect. But it's about you basically being willing to partner with the body in this new earth experience, inviting your relationship with the body to be and function as that love, as that empowerment, as that divine essence to divine essence relationship. It's reminding you that you are not the body, that the body is an aspect of the divine supporting you. In its configuration, now is being reminded to it where it actually emanates from Gaia. It's almost like part of nature. So we're going to help remind it of its configuration emanating from Gaia, and then Gaia emanating from the heart of Source, and how its right relationship with Source is, that it has access to infinite resources as an infinite being, as do you. We allow this to be a divine partnership where you're actually not the one responsible for manifesting anything. You're responsible for staying in alignment with your truth, with your beam of light, holding all of your focus and your energy there in such a way that you work with your higher self to pluck the strings of what you're choosing to experience yourself as. We invite you to stay out of specific details, because that is where we then dip our toe in trying to control how it shows up, what it looks like, when what we're really wishing to experience is ourselves as free, or ourselves as abundant, or ourselves as love, as loved, as truth, whatever it is for you. And so we invite you to choose from that place of what you wish to experience yourself as, and then let the physical, the body, wired into nature, wired into all the resources of the physical realm, be responsible for bringing to you how you get to experience that. And know that it will be in even greater ways than you could imagine. And that when we try to control, we distort the frequency. So are you willing to release your attachment to how it shows up, and actually the details around how, what it looks like specifically? So in other words, it can look like you being happy. It can look like you being on a beach with your feet up, or whatever that is. That's perfect. But when we start to get into specific details, that it has to be this beach, and I have to be wearing this, and this person has to be there with me, then that's where we start then constricting and actually separating from who we are in attempting to control. And when we're separating from who we are and no longer focused in our beam of light, and now we're trying to control this stuff out here, that's when we reduce our power and our potency, and we no longer have access to our infinite resources. So stay in your own lane, stay in your own alignment. From that place, choose how you wish to experience yourself or what you wish to experience yourself as, and let the details take care of themselves. That's really the new earth flavors and ways of manifesting, where we're in complete trust of our infinite nature to bring to us the most honoring experiences of ourselves based on what we're choosing to experience ourselves as. So can we show you how to trust the multidimensional aspects of you and the multidimensional aspects of your body, Deva, to actually partner in the divine blueprint synchronistic way they're meant to bring to you the life of thriving, the life beyond survival, which is this other control base that you're actually desiring to experience yourself as. The you that is connected to an infinite source, that the place in the space where need doesn't exist because you know you already have. Can we show you that? Okay, perfect. So now we're being invited to allow and to invite the rebalancing and stabilizing of our systems, all of our systems and components, upgrading and updating, inviting the higher self to work with the Council of Light to upgrade and update any of our systems, components, recalibrating all of our electromagnetics in such a way that everything is balanced, stable, and harmonized in these new frequencies. And just take some deep breaths. Repairing any of your magnetics that require repair at this time, which really have to do with how you connect to the earth realm, Gaia, which can affect whether or not you're manifesting or not manifesting in this realm. So just repairing and updating all of those grids, updating all of your reference points of view in your body for it. Updating what you perceive yourself as. And how that is reflected in this realm. And what we would say in a nutshell is you're going to experience yourself and your life and your experience of your life based on who you decide you are. Are you an infinite being with infinite potential and infinite choice, choosing to connect to the truth of you? Fully aligned with, I already have, it's already here. I have full access to everything I wish to experience. Or have you decided you're something else, i.e. separate from and having to get something outside of you? And you get to choose how to orient yourself. So if you choose to orient yourself in alignment with the truth of your being as an infinite being with infinite potential and infinite choice, with already having access, already connected to the infinite storehouse of abundance, of love, of joy, of freedom, of peace, of harmony, of bliss, abundance, joy, then we'd like to support you in that alignment and the identification of you now, upgrading all of the ways that you perceive yourself, stories, releasing attachments to old stories, releasing anything we're holding that anyone else was deciding we were, just not allowing anyone else to define us anymore, that we define who we be. We get to choose how we experience ourselves. And we would clarify that who you are is who you are, and that can never change. You are this being of light emanating from source with infinite access to everything. What you experience yourself as is where your free will comes into play. And that's where we're inviting you to firmly plant your feet and to begin to choose what would actually honor you. as the light that you be, as your true, it's like beginning to access your true nature and the infinite support that's available. Excellent. So if you're choosing to manifest the miraculous, begin choosing what that is right for you, and begin working with your higher self to pluck those strings. We're just going to invite in any other downloads or upgrades that you're ready for at this time to be shared now. You can just simply invite your higher self to gather up what's yours, support you during this amazing, accelerated upshift that's happening right now. And so they're bringing in a couple of things just to help you reorient yourself as you begin. It's almost like we have our training wheels on now in the new earth, right? We've got our training wheels on and we're here and our feet are planted and this is what we're choosing. And so it's like, as we have our training wheels, it's helpful to remind ourselves on a consistent basis that we've arrived, that we're here, that we're planted in this new earth, that it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, they keep saying. And it's one of the reasons we're offering this transmission today is that what I was shown is many of us were still putting it out here in the future. And so therefore, we weren't really claiming it. We weren't really rooting ourselves into the new earth and therefore calling it into our experience for ourselves. And what's been inspired just in the last few days is a 3-session series to help support us in manifesting and grounding into the new earth fully, and just making sure we're anchored, making sure we've upgraded all of our systems, all of our components, so that we get to speed up, really accelerate our having it. So we don't have to wait. So we don't have to one by one wait till things show us out here that, okay, I'm still out of alignment. We can actually kind of move through really quickly any distortions or ways that we're still tethered to an old system or idea that's keeping it from fully coming in, fully coming online. So if this resonates for you, you can learn more about this series called Grounding into the New Earth at embracingtheinfinite.com. And it actually starts on March 30th. Let's see if I can get, I don't think that's the right link. So I was going to put a link up to my website, but we'll do that maybe at the end here. And so grounding into the new earth is really about us claiming we're here. And it, again, if we kind of look at the energy of it in a nutshell, it's really about, okay, we're here, we've arrived, let's bring it in, let's bring it into this dimension. And actually, it's more like we're attuning to that dimension where it already is. That's more accurate. So that's really what that 3-session series, it's going to start on March 30th, and it occurs within a really short period. So it's March 30th, April 3rd, and April 6th. We're going to do 3 one-hour sessions just to help bring that all in. And we did it at a reduced rate if you sign up early, because we really are encouraging everyone to participate that can, just to help gain the momentum and the ripple effect of it coming online as quickly as possible. And so if that resonates for you, we invite you to join us. The early bird for that expires on the 25th, which is a week from today. So you'll know if it's yours to be in, to do, and to have, and you have the infinite choice to make that happen. So if it's something you're choosing, invite your higher self to pluck the string of having it and experiencing it, and give permission to the body and everything else to bring in the manifestation that you require to make that a reality. And that's really the mastery we're being invited to step into, where we no longer let this dictate our choices. My bank account doesn't decide whether I get to have something or not. This circumstance doesn't get to decide whether I have something or not. I am fully empowered as a being of light that has full access to infinite resources, and I'm choosing this. I'm having it. Pluck the strings. Show me the vibration. Remind me the vibration that I can be and that my body can be for this to be brought into physical manifestation for me, if it's for my highest good. And then release your attachment, go about your day, and watch the magic happen. So there are some new tools, and this was a sneak peek. What we just said is a sneak peek at some of the new tools that are coming through that we're going to share in this series. And one of them is remembering the vibration, inviting the higher self to remind you of the vibration of what you're choosing, because that's a way of plucking those strings. And so there's ways we're going to work with that to really accelerate everything and to activate our mastery. That's really, this year is the year of mastery. 2019, I dubbed it the year of the miraculous, but it truly is a year of mastery where we get to begin activating the mastery of all these lessons. And so we did a recording, they're reminding me, a few weeks ago, and I believe it was a free transmission. So if you didn't catch that, you can find it either on Facebook for Embracing the Infinite or Omaji, or you can find it on the YouTube channel for Omaji and Daria. I've been putting the free replays up there so you get the video experience if you choose it. And they did a piece in that they're pointing to. Remind me what it was. It left my brain. Oh, with activating the mastery of the lesson. So that they're saying there's things that we think we still have to master this lesson that we're still kind of in the mud with. And we've actually already gathered up everything from the mud that we need to master the lesson. So it's really now just about saying, okay, higher self, here's all the seeds I've gathered up. Will you activate the mastery of this lesson for me? I'm ready. I'm willing to have it complete if it's time. And it's not from a place of resistance. So it's not from a place of I want to get rid of this or this needs to go away. It's from a place of awareness and knowing, okay, I went through this to gather up these seeds to evolve it. So now, higher self, let's evolve these patterns. Let's evolve these experiences of separation into the oneness based systems. What an amazing time we're in. I'm just saying, it's just phenomenal. We're doing it. We are the renegades. Yes, we are the renegades. Just transforming consciousness amazingly. I'm so excited to be sharing with you in this way. And I'm so excited that you've chosen it for you and that you're choosing to support yourself in this way. So I will post, let me just see if I can do it. If you go to embracingtheinfinite.com, you will be able to find links to the YouTube channel where the replays will be. We're also going to send them out to the email list. So if you're not on the Embracing the Infinite email list, you can easily sign up. I really, truly try not to inundate you with emails, although there's been so much happening lately. I've been offering a lot of different things that I've been sending a lot out. But I do try to not send out more than is necessary. So, and I don't share your email with anybody. So if you want to stay updated, that's really the best way, as well as finding the Embracing the Infinite Facebook page and the Omaji. There's two. So there's also the Omaji Facebook page, which will help you stay updated. And make sure you do the thing where you tell it you want to see first when you fall under following, because sometimes then you don't see the notifications. So if it's something you want to make sure that you do get the updates on, just click the see first in Facebook for whatever page you're subscribed to, and it should show up in your timeline. Thank you, Melinda. There's my YouTube channel. Woo! Thank you for your support. Oh, the other thing they want to mention, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, and some of you are signed up for, is we are doing our annual 7-day immersion in Sedona in just 5 weeks. I cannot believe it's here. Well, I can, but it's just going so fast. So this energy of this transmission, as well as the other 2 replays or so that are on YouTube that are related to the Miraculous, those are all precursors for what's going to be shared in Sedona. And the more that I connect to, not only is it the 7-day immersion in Sedona called Welcome the Miraculous, not only is it a quantum leap, so to speak, in our evolution, it's actually embodiment of mastery. It's really this place of completely transforming into your beam of light fully without identifying in the other stuff anymore. So when we're together for 7 days, magic and miracles take place. And there's nothing else I've ever experienced that's more powerful than our 7-day immersions. I've done shorter ones and they're amazing. But when we're together for 7 days, there's a momentum that's established that is unprecedented in my experience. And part of the reason is it's a commitment. It's a commitment. And I know it is because I've been there. It's a commitment to say, I'm going to do this for 7 days, and I'm going to collect the resources, however that shows up for me. But I will say that for me, when I chose that for me several years ago, from the place of, there was a 7-day immersion in Hawaii that I knew in my being, I have to be there. I can't miss this. The resources showed up when I put myself in the yes. Now, if I would have stayed in, no, I can't because I don't have the resources, and not started to take the steps in that direction, then this wouldn't have known what to do, right? I had to, on some level, say, I'm having this, and I know this is for my highest good. I can feel it. I can feel what it represents for me. And then release it to your higher self, and to begin to take those small steps, however small they may be, to put your yes out there, right? To say, no, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing this. That's when it can start. That's when the stones can start to form under your feet to support your choice. But many times what's happening is this is waiting for us to choose it. And so if we don't choose it, or we just decide we can't have it, yeah, nothing's happening. Nothing's going to show up to support me choosing it because I haven't chosen it yet. So know that you're the chooser, right? It's about really putting ourselves in that place of being that chooser and knowing how powerful that is. So however that shows up for you, know that we're going to have an amazing, like, rocket ship blast off week. So we'd love to have you as part of it. And we do offer installments. We do offer things that maybe would help you in your yes. So just connect with us if that's something that's really you're being pulled to, that okay, if I do this, my whole life is going to upgrade amazingly. And why would you postpone that for yourself? It's like, I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't postpone it. Because I was very different before I went. I didn't think I was at the time. I thought I was doing pretty good, but I can see now the contrast of how I was holding myself back in so many ways, and I was allowing myself to be in kind of a distorted identification of me as powerless or not fully connected. And so, yeah, give yourself the gift if it's something you're feeling drawn to. You won't regret it. So anyway, feel free to connect with us if you want to learn more, and feel free to share this transmission with as many people as you feel guided, because I know it's a piece that can support so many light workers and so many beings of light, remembering the easy path to claiming the new, instead of having to, it's like I get shown there's different timelines, right? But I get shown 2 major ones: the path of grace and ease, and then the path of struggle. So we're all going to get to the new earth, right? We're all going to get there. They're going to cross at some point. Everybody's going to remember who they are eventually. But this is a very powerful time to choose to upshift to grace and ease versus struggle. It's so much nicer. So thank you. I'm sending love to each of you in a major, major way. So just receive that. And your higher selves, the Council of Light, is so grateful for you and your willingness to make yourself available to receive this, to hear these words, to choose, right? That's amazing. And we underestimate that. We underestimate how much that is being celebrated by the higher realms. They're like, you go, yay, yes, keep choosing, yeah, you're doing it. You know, they're really cheering us on and they're really excited for us. And that's one of the reasons this session and the series is being called in, is just to help us get there faster as far as like experiencing what they're already celebrating, because they know we're going to cross that threshold. But it's a matter of, well, do we wait a month? Do we wait a year? Do we take this whole year to do it? Or do we claim it this month? And I was listening to something a few weeks ago that really resonated with me. Daniel Rama Hoffman actually shared it through Toth. And it had to do with this 3 month, this third month of the year being identical to, I think it was the last month of the year, numerically, somehow with numerology. Yeah, because 12 is a 3, yeah. So it was like, don't wait till the end of the year to claim everything that wants to happen for you this year. Claim it all in this month if you want, because it's like timelines can collapse. And they've been showing me a lot of timelines collapsing for people. And I actually had someone on the Expanding New Ways of Being call, which is our monthly series, share that they had an incredible experience of a diagnosis of something totally shifting into a much more honoring diagnosis within a couple days. One doctor gives it this, and here's the x-ray, and then the next doctor says, no, it's this, and here's the x-ray. It's totally different. So just celebrate that we're being upgraded. They want me to share another one. So this is where they're talking about manifesting the miraculous. It's like manifesting these upgraded, more honoring timelines. One of my clients won't mind if I share this. She had a phone that she dropped, an iPhone, and the screen cracked on it. And it was a gift from somebody that she'd received. So she was really kind of disappointed. It wasn't working right with the screen cracked and da-da-da. And she finally, after a couple of months, took it in to have it looked at, because she was like, kind of like, well, it works, I can deal with it. And then it's like the struggle, right? And then this month, we've really been working on grace and ease and welcoming the end of struggle. So she took it into the iPhone shop, and the lady there's like, looks at it, and she peels off the protective cover that was cracked. She's like, your iPhone is fine. It's not, it's perfect. And it was like this whole symbolism of nothing was actually broken, right? But we thought it was. So we just accepted it, and we were acting as though, and we, you know, it's like, what else is possible? And how can we welcome the grace and ease of, I don't have to get my screen replaced, if I don't have to, you know. And so it's also that powerful tool of us welcoming in, remembering to release all the conclusions we've made that aren't true, no matter what it looks like, right? So the screen protector, right, had been put on by the person that gave it to her before. She didn't know it was on there. But it's just, again, this idea of manifesting, because what we experience is just a reflection of what we're choosing. Grace and ease actually reflected as that for her in that experience of completely unexpected, where she got upgraded to grace and ease. So welcome that for you. These examples are meant to point to this, so you can begin welcoming that for you without having to micromanage it. I don't have to say, I want it to show up in this case. I can just say, I'm inviting my higher self to move me to the timeline in this now moment, in the octave of vibration where things show up for me with grace and ease, because I'm an infinite being with infinite choice. And that's how I'm choosing to experience myself. Yes. Thank you so much. We've gone over a little bit, but I love you so much. I'm so grateful for your presence. Thank you. Thank you. So honored, and have a wonderful week. And if you wish to join us for the next series, it starts on March 30th, and I'd love to have you as part of it. Blessings, and enjoy the rest of your wonderful Sunday. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much.